On the horizon, you see a small fleet of ships. By your count, maybe only 4, 5, maybe 6? Do they know of the treasure on board your ship? Do they know of the wealth and riches beneath your feet? As they come closer and you see the cannons, you slowly realize the answer just in time to prepare for battle. Heyo, and welcome to another episode of The Darchives. I'm Jamie talking to Leo.
And I'm Leo listening to Jamie.
And this week, we are going to be talking about Henry Every, the pirate who pulled off one of the biggest plunders in history.
So the boys got treasure.
The boys got booty.
All right, where's our pirate story start?
We are actually starting this story a bit in the dark. Not much is known about Henry Every's early life at all. It's speculated that he was born in the area of Plymouth in Devon, England, but even that's kind of speculation. It is known that he started his career in the Royal Navy, though. He was a part of the 9 Years' War, which began in 1688 and was a battle against the French. It was England, the Dutch Republic, the Palatinate, Saxony, and Spain all up against France.
Okay, so aside from Dutch, Spain, and English, is that the three known ones? What did you say? Palatinate? What?
The Palatinate and Saxony. Both of those are part of Germany.
Okay.
Now, Henry Every started on the 64-gun ship, the HMS Rupert. Here, he was promoted to master's mate after the ship won a pretty significant battle against the French. In 1690, he was moved to the 90-gun HMS Albemarle, but while aboard this ship, they took a pretty crushing blow, which allowed the French to temporarily gain control of the English Channel. This loss that they had was so significant that just 1 month later, Every was actually discharged from the Royal Navy, so now he had to find other means of income.
Oof. Gave up such an important part of water that they kicked him out.
Yeah, and I mean, I do understand that, like, yes, the English Channel was very important. I mean, we're late 1600s, but I mean, for him to be discharged after they had promoted him to master's mate, that seems so so dramatic. But I don't know. What do I know? I'm not a Royal Navy man.
You get one shot, everybody.
And don't fuck it up. Don't let the French have anything. Sorry, French listeners. He found means of work through the Atlantic slave trade. Not a good look for him.
Not good at all.
Working along the Guinea coastline, which is Africa, Henry found employment with the royal governor of Bermuda, transporting the African people to, like, the Americas and the Caribbean. Here is where we first get reports of him being different, I'll say. English historian Douglas Botting says, quote, "As a slaver, Avery seems to have been more devious than most other practitioners of that sordid craft." End quote.
So of all the degens, slave trading people, he's one of the more devious ones.
He's the degen. Yeah. And as an aside, his name is Henry Every or Avery, which that quote said. It said Avery. But the sources that I used referred to him as Every, so I'm going to continue. But if in a later quote it says Avery, just know that his name is kind of,
Bit of a Colorado cannibal situation here. Is it Alfred or Elford?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately for us, most of his slave transporting life is undocumented, so I don't know what made him more devious than other devious men, but it is noted. In 1693, he was aboard the Charles II, or the Charles II, which was a privateering ship. Now, this ship was going to be used along with 3 other vessels to trade and supply the Spanish with arms to use against the French. They were going to the Spanish West Indies, and while out there, the plan was also to loot some treasure from the French ships that had sunk there nearby.
All right.
So our boy likes booty. He wants to plunder.
I don't know a man who don't like booty.
Who among us?
Hell, I know a lot of ladies like booty too.
Give me some sunken French ships, I'll look. I'll plunder a little bit. Now, the men who were hired all believed that they would be getting a monthly wage with the first month paid in advance. So this was good for, a man looking for some money. All 4 ships set sail, but they were soon stuck in the Spanish city of Corunna because the paperwork had not yet made it to Madrid. So some logistics here, but essentially the ships were docked and locked. They were stuck there.
Okay. Remind me again, I know they're planning on doing a little plundering of sunken ships, so what was the initial reason for them to be out?
To go to the Spanish West Indies to trade with them and supply the Spanish with more arms to use against the French.
Okay, arms dealers.
Yes, they were kind of just replenishing supplies.
But now they're stuck at port.
Yep. And after 5 months of no movement, no pay, and no work, Every took advantage of the poor morale from the men on board and led a mutiny. Quote, "I am captain of this ship now. I am bound to Madagascar with the design of making my own fortune and that of all the brave fellows joined with me." End quote.
He said, "Fuck this shit, we out."
Fuck this shit, I'm out. And he was. The mutiny was a success. Henry then renamed the ship to the Fancy, and they set off on the open sea. Now, they officially were embracing the life of a pirate, and while traveling down to Madagascar, they stopped to plunder a few ships here and there, including 3 English merchantmen who they got some much-needed supplies from. While doing these oceanic robberies, men aboard the plundered ships would sometimes actually defect to the pirates, and soon enough, Henry was in charge of almost 100 men.
Damn, on one ship.
Yeah. He had to have had like some charisma or something. He had that it factor, you know?
He just rolled up like Jack Sparrow. "Come with me and make some money."
Yeah. He had the vibe to him, you know? A man you want to follow. They traveled down the African coast for a few months, and his antics here were on display when he tricked a local chieftain and his men, the villagers, to board the Fancy, and then somehow left them without any possessions, and they were now enslaved. So he really took to turning people into slaves.
Once a slaver, always a slaver, I guess.
Just rude, honestly. Now next, they stopped in Benin. I'm
not correcting you.
Thank you. Which is a country that is just to the left of Nigeria. And there they did some ship renovations. They reduced the upper decks of the ship, which allowed them to become one of the fastest ships on the sea. So, cut that dead weight off and now we are cruising.
Yep.
Continuing their journey down Africa, they soon came upon some Danish ships. They stole the ship's supply of ivory and gold and also stole some men. And this is specified because while I was reading about this, within the next sentence or two, it said that people defected from the Danish to join the crew. So I think some people willingly joined, and the ones who didn't, they just got stolen?
Probably more of the slave trading type stuff.
Maybe. Yeah, that would
You're not going to join us, we'll just sell you?
I guess. He's a bad man, so that
He
tracks.
sounded like a pretty bad guy.
Yeah. Now, with the Danish men who opted to join the crew, the numbers would only continue to rise. The beginning of 1695 brought the Fancy around the Cape of Good Hope, where they came upon some French vessels. On the island of Johanna, the men were able to rest and restock. Now, thanks to these French ships, they were able to do a bit more plundering and recruited another 40 or so men. Like, he now has a crew of around 150 men.
On one boat still.
Yeah, he's incredible. But now all these men are rested and they are ready to rip. They were about to commit the largest plunder yet. Am I saying plunder too much? I just don't get a chance to use that word a lot in my daily...
Sea heist.
I don't get a chance to use plunder in my daily vernacular, so I might be going a little plunder crazy.
Okay.
The men were about to pirate the Mughal Empire's fleet. The Mughal Empire was an Islamic empire that ruled over a large portion of India from the mid-1520s to the late 1850s. This fleet was just returning from their Hajj in Mecca and contained several loot-filled vessels and treasure ships owned by the Grand Mughal himself, Emperor Aurangzeb. This fleet was said to be unrivaled in wealth, and Henry wanted it. He sailed up to the Red Sea in August of 1695 and even partnered up with some other pirates like the American pirate Thomas Tew. This was to ensure that they had more than sufficient firepower to take them on.
I've never heard of Thomas Tew. Is this Thomas II? Or is it Thomas Tew?
Tew as in T-E-W.
Oh, Tew.
Tew.
Thomas Tuesday.
Thomas Tuesday, isn't it? 6 ships were now ready, and Henry was named the admiral of this thrown-together little flotilla.
Flotilla, I like that.
Thank you. Well, I'll use it again in my next sentence. Now they were ready, and soon they came upon the 25-ship flotilla. The Mughals saw the pirates coming and immediately began to sail away, but the Fancy was able to catch a vessel called the Fath Mamamadi, which quickly surrendered. The men were able to steal about 50,000 pounds, and by that I mean the British currency, of gold and silver. In USD, that was around $66.6 thousand at the time, which today would be worth about $5.5 million. That was just one ship. That wasn't enough though. So the men continued on to find the ship with the most to steal, and on September 7th of 1695, they came upon the flagship Ganji Sawai. This ship was the biggest in all of India, a 62-gun ship with around 400 to 500 riflemen aboard.
Damn, I wouldn't want to mess with that ship.
Yeah, and this was going up against the Fancy, which was a 46-gun ship and had significantly less men aboard.
But it's fancy.
Oh, but she's
They'll be
fancy.
It'll be fine. It's fancy.
Well, what happened next was either extreme skill or extreme good luck. One of the first cannon volleys launched from the Fancy hit the main mast of the Ganji Sawai.
Oh, yeah.
Next, one of the artillery pieces of the Ganji Sawai malfunctioned and exploded. At this point, the Mughals aboard were in complete disarray. A boarding party from the Fancy climbed aboard the crippled ship, and there a hand-to-hand battle took place. This is so icky. Now, the captain actually abandoned the crew, and the soldiers were driven back.
Sissy boy.
According to one source, he had taken refuge below deck, and instead of fighting himself, he had ordered some slave girls to go and fight in his place. That's why I said he's icky. Like, not only do you abandon your men, but then you tell some enslaved girls, women, to go and fight in your place for you.
Look, this pirate that we're following isn't a good guy. He's slave trading, doing a bunch of piracy. He's a bad man.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't ditch his whole crew and send women to go fight for him, though. Sissy.
Well, no, he didn't. Okay, now that they had control of the ship, they began to plunder. They got gold, silver, and jewels that amounted to about 350 to 600,000 British pounds. Today, in USD, that would be worth about $78.3 million.
Rolling in it.
Holy shit. Okay, a heads up. This is going to get a little bad. I'm not getting into detail on it, but on top of stealing all the treasure aboard, the pirates tortured the men to try and get more information on if there was any more loot hidden anywhere, and then they killed them. They then repeatedly sexually assaulted all the women on board, including elderly women.
All right.
Yeah.
Bad pirate men.
Yeah. An Indian historian named Kafi Khan wrote, quote, "After having remained engaged for a week in searching for plunder, stripping the men of their clothes, and dishonoring the old and young women, they left the ship and its passengers to their fate. Some of the women, getting an opportunity, threw themselves into the sea to save their honor, while others committed suicide using knives and daggers." End quote. So, looking back, the captain may not have been a good guy, but he wasn't a bad guy.
He might have been a bad guy. You don't know that.
That is true.
We know for a fact that the Indian captain was
Holding enslaved women.
a sissy.
That too.
And we know for a fact that Avery and his men are complete degens.
Psychopaths.
Bad guys.
Bad eggs. Yo-ho, yo-ho.
So what else these guys getting up to when they're not pillaging and defiling?
Defiling, murdering, torturing. Yeah. Well, after this, they set sail to the Bahamas. This loss was not to be ignored. The Mughal Empire placed all blame on England and demanded Henry's head. This led to a 1,000-pound bounty being placed on Henry and what is believed to be the first ever global manhunt.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see why I wanted to do this one.
They John Wicked his ass. They excommunicadoed him.
Oh god, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they set a bounty on him and all the other guys went for him.
Yeah. Now, the East India Company really took a big hit from this. As imports dropped, their factories in India came under attack, and they were forced to offer reparations. Several higher-ups of the company also got arrested because it was believed that they were, working with Henry in some way.
Yeah, giving a little information, doing a little sneaky stuff.
Yep. Now, no easy way to say this, but Henry would never face any sort of justice. After scattering back to the Caribbean, he's gone.
Slinked off to Tortuga.
He did. Went to Singapore.
Is that where Tortuga is?
No, I've been watching Pirates of the Caribbean, which hence why we're having this episode this week. And the main ports that they did were Tortuga and Singapore.
I thought Tortuga was in the Caribbean though.
Yeah, it is.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I had that right.
No, you were. I've really gotten into Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, you're just deep diving into pirates. Okay.
Yeah. Some of the crew who were on board the Fancy were eventually found and hanged, but a good majority of the men disappeared either to the Americas or back into Europe.
Why is it hanged and not hung?
I don't know. I am not a grammarologist, so I can't say for certain, but I will say I always go to hung, and then I have to remind myself it's hanged.
Whenever they're talking about people, it's always they were hanged. But you would say he was hung from the neck.
Yeah, or I hung the pictures up. You wouldn't say I hanged the picture, would you?
I hanged a picture?
I
didn't hang no picture.
I hanged a picture this weekend.
I tell you what. I hanged it up.
Yeah, I don't know. College graduates, let us know.
Yeah, wordologist, hit us up.
Yeah, highly educated, can you tell us why? Okay. Now, there are some theories for what happened to Henry, but honestly, even then, not too many. One is that he's believed to have gone to Ireland under the name Bridgeman, but even at that theory, after he gets to Ireland, there's nothing else.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Unless there was some crazy Bridgeton was a crazy man out there doing crazy shit in Ireland.
Yeah.
Since there's no other stories, I doubt it.
Yep. Well, Another says that he created a little pirate haven on Madagascar.
Okay.
The last one that I found said that he eventually returned to England, but while there, he got scammed out of all of his money, and he died poor and anonymous.
How do you get scammed out of whatever your cut of, what was it, $78 million?
Yeah, in total, it was something like almost $80 million.
Yeah. No, I'm going to say that he's evil enough and mean enough to be smart enough not to get screwed over like that.
I agree with that as well. What is known for sure is that the man who was dubbed the King of the Pirates made off with the biggest act of piracy and completely disappeared. He became a legend of sorts, inspiring all sorts of young men who would eventually become pirates themselves, like one Blackbeard, Bartholomew Roberts, Sam Bellamy, and Calico Jack Rackham.
You know what's funny is I've heard of Calico Jack and Blackbeard, and I know nothing about them.
Okay. I'm gonna obviously put some space in between this one, but I will be doing an episode on Blackbeard. I am endlessly fascinated by pirates. I'm a 5-year-old boy in that way. I like dinosaurs and pirates.
You're just trying to be a piratologist. I get it.
But I will put some space between this episode and Blackbeard, but we will talk about him. So, even the name of his ship, the Fancy, was used by others later in life. In 1712, a play called The Successful Pirate was written and performed at the Theatre Royal in Drury Lane. He has been used as characters in numerous books, like Daniel Defoe's The King of the Pirates, and one particularly dramatized biography written...
Was that air quotes?
That was air quotes.
You should probably say that.
Well, you got me. Written by a man under a pseudonym. This man called himself Adrian van Brock, and he claimed that he was a Dutchman who had worked with Henry aboard the Fancy. He said that Henry had run off with the Emperor's daughter and set up a life with her on St. Mary's Island off the coast of Madagascar. So this is where the theory of his pirate haven on Madagascar comes from. It was on this largely believed to be fiction biography. Here it said...
How does one have a fiction biography?
He wrote it as like a biography for Henry, but it is very largely believed to be either completely fabricated or mostly fabricated.
So it's actually a historical fiction that was touted by the author as a biography?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. He claims that Henry was able to establish like a small utopia here on this island with his family. Henry apparently had kids with this woman, and he was like the monarch over there, even going as far as to create currency with his face on it. So, according to this theory, Henry became a king? An actual king of the pirates.
I'm going no on that theory, too.
Well...
That's too good for him. If I'm being real, no, he doesn't deserve that.
Well, books, plays, and songs have all been created because of him, but in the end, no one really knows what happened to him, and his fate remains a mystery lost to time. What do you think?
I think one of two things happened. Option number one, after making off for the Caribbean, he himself was in some way mutinied, murdered and left for dead, or killed and thrown out to sea for all the riches on his vessel, on the Fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, he got scurvy and died, because everyone on boats got scurvy and died back in the day. I am learning so much about scurvy. It's insane. And the shit that happens to you when you don't have vitamin C is insane. Old scars, like if you had a really bad, say you got cut by a sword or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the point where your vitamin C deficiency is so bad you get scurvy, your scar will start to disintegrate, open back up, and bleed out.
So like the scar on my hand would reopen?
Yeah, if you get a good sized scar, any scar tissue, it'll just start disintegrating and open up. Boom, it's gone. Just starts bleeding out.
Friendly reminder to take your vitamin C today,
take
kids.
your vitamin C.
Well,
also messes with your mental a lot, sorry.
No, you're okay.
I just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, it's what was it? One of the big symptoms of scurvy was an overwhelming feeling of like hopelessness.
Depression.
Basically depression. But yeah, you'd get like really depressed, really lethargic. Your fucking scars would open up. Scurvy was wild back in the day. And I'm learning about that because I'm reading about the Erebus.
You going to do an episode on that?
Probably not. But that's it's an Arctic voyage, guys. It's pretty fun.
Do you see what I deal with? The people want you.
They don't. They've never once asked for me.
They're tired of my voice. I see it all the time.
I think they like your voice.
I'm a conversation in a Denny's. I personally...
And that's our flat banter. That's not you.
Yes. I think that he got his riches and just quietly retired. I don't think there's any big story here. I think, honestly, he got it and fucked off. He knew when he won. He knew when to fold it, when to hold it.
I could see that possibly being a thing. I think that's too good for him, honestly. I don't think when you live that fast and loose, you can slow down. I think that's a Hollywood trope that people do one big job and then they retire and they're happy and they relax. No. I think if you're the kind of person that shoots at people, jumps on board, fights people, rapes, pillages,
murders,
I don't think you're slowing down. I think you're going to live that life until you die because,
maybe, but also
live fast, die young.
Bad girls do it well. But also consider he was one of the, if not the first global manhunt. You can't exactly go out raping, killing, pillaging when the entire world is looking to put your head on a pike, I don't know, guys. Friends across the world, what do you guys think? What happened to Henry? With that, guys, you can follow us on Instagram or send us an email, both of which are linked down in the show description below.
And you can rate the show, share the show, contact us directly on our website,
darkhivespodcast.com.
and pick up yourself a cool t-shirt or something to help support the show.
We sure would love that. You can also read a blog. Guys, we've started blogging. We're bloggers. Thanks for hanging out. We will see you guys next week for another episode of The Dark Hives.
See you landlubbers next week.
Fair winds to ye. I love pirates.
Yeah.
I fucking love pirates, boys. Can't wait to do Blackbeard. I'm gonna shiver all your fucking timbers.
All right, until then, we'll see y'all.